What's up, guys? It is Childlike Kate here with a new video, and we are just gonna jump right into it. In today's video, we are going to be talking about weeks 3 and 4 of revature training. I decided to go ahead and combine these 2 weeks into one video, mostly because this is the time when I had COVID and was recovering from COVID. So honestly, these 2 weeks were just a blur. So they went by pretty quickly, and so this is going to be just a quick recap of weeks 3 and 4 of revature training. All right, so weeks 3 and 4, both of them fell on the weeks of Christmas and New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. Both are observed holidays, and therefore both weeks were short weeks, only 4 days in both of those weeks. So let's get into week 3. We started off week 3 with another quiz and QC on the information from week 2. We did that on Monday. Also, if you want to know what we learned in weeks 1 and 2, you can go back to those videos where I lay out what topics were covered during those weeks of training. So the QC for week 3 covering week 2's information is on C# and whatever information the QC team thought should be included in a C# assessment. I think I did pretty well on both the quiz and the QC. I remember one particular question that I missed on the QC where they asked, what does it mean for something to be static? And I missed that question because I didn't have an exact definition. And I actually remember asking the week before when we were talking about access modifiers. I brought up static. Our trainer said that we would discuss non-access modifiers in week 3. So therefore, my question wasn't really answered at that time, but we got asked that question on the QC. So it was like, really? But either way, I still did well. I got a yellow, so I live. So that was the quiz and QC that, of course, took up pretty much the whole day on Monday. So on Tuesday, we picked up learning C#. So in other training groups, you would technically only get 1 week to learn everything about C#, but they made our training 13 weeks. So we got to cover C# over 2 weeks and really take our time to break things down. So in this second week of learning C#, we dived into what exactly is object-oriented programming. We discussed those non-access modifiers that we did not discuss in the week prior. We learned about design principles, separation of concerns, unit testing, logging, and design patterns. And for the design patterns and the logging, that was actually learned in another group presentation. So we broke up into different groups to learn about and present different kind of design patterns, and then one group had logging, and we taught it to our group. Now I will say I did see a disgruntled comment in Discord about having to work on a group presentation for a second week when we've already got the specs for our P0 and we should be working on that. And I guess that person felt like it was taking away time to work on that, which I would agree. Tuesday is the day that we started learning new material for week 3, and Tuesday is also the day that COVID symptoms like really hit me. So Monday I just had like a little bit of an uncomfortable feeling in my throat. It didn't hurt, it wasn't like sore or anything, but knowing that COVID was going around and throat symptoms would be a thing, I went ahead and started drinking tea, ginger, you know, things like that to kind of take care of myself just in case. But Tuesday, the fatigue hit me like crazy. I could not keep my eyes open. I was like, what is going on? Why am I so tired? I got rest last night. I didn't stay up late the night before. Like, I really didn't understand why I was so tired. But then at a certain point during the day, chills started kicking in, and I was like, oh shoot, I might have COVID. And also my Apple Watch kept telling me that my heart rate was rising even though I was sitting down at the computer dozing off because fatigue was kicking my butt that day. So I stayed logged on throughout the day. I just had my camera turned off and I was like wrapped in blankets, and I cannot recall anything that we learned that day. It was like, even when I was awake and alert and trying to get myself to pay attention, it was like the information would go in one ear and out the other because my brain was just so foggy. So Wednesday is actually when I took an at-home test, and of course it told me that I was COVID positive. And I actually didn't share it with my trainer. I just showed up for work every day. I would just keep my camera off and I was working from my bed because I was sick and cold. But yeah, I just tried to take in the information as well as I could, which was not well. But it was what it was, and I just had to power through it, or I felt like I needed to power through it and be present for the new information. Thankfully, we had a 3-day weekend, so I had some time to rest and recoup a little bit. The following week, week 4, we were having QC and quiz on week 3's material. But that day I woke up with a crazy headache, migraine. Like, I opened my computer to start the day and just the light from the screen was making my head throb. So I went ahead and reached out to my trainer to let her know what was going on, and I logged off and just got rest that day. And then I came back on Tuesday, and that's when I had my one-on-one for the week, and I let my trainer know that I had COVID for the past week. And she was like, oh girl, you should have just let me know, like you didn't have to log in and try to power through it being sick, because I know how this virus is going on, basically. So, and I wasn't the only one to get it. Another guy ended up getting it after me, him and his family, and then another girl, and they both just kind of powered through it and showed up every day just like I did. But after the QC on Monday, what we learned in week 4 was pretty much databases, and week 4 was an even shorter week than week 3. So on Tuesday we started learning about relational database management systems. I had to think in my head, what does RDMS stand for? But yeah, relational database management systems, and we got the PowerPoint on that, and I think that's when we started learning. That's when we first set up our AWS accounts. So we made profiles on Amazon Web Services so that we can create databases, and we use MS SQL to create our database for this project. So what we did in class was, of course, follow along with the trainer. She set up her database for the restaurant reviews application that we've been working with all this time, and then she gave us all her connection strings so that we could practice connecting to her database, and then once you were pretty secure in that, it was suggested that you go ahead and set up your database for your P0, because you will be using all the same technology. And yeah, that's all we did on Tuesday and Wednesday, was just learned about databases and practice some SQL. Thursday ended up being a project work day, and I think just because our trainer wanted to go ahead and start the weekend for New Year's Eve, because New Year's Eve was Friday and that was being observed for New Year's Day, so we kind of had Thursday and Friday off this week. So we did not log on at all for this project work day, but our trainer was available online if you had any questions. But this was just a time to be used to work on your project and try to get as far ahead as you could, or get to a good place. But I'm pretty sure most people just took it as a day off to relax and start their New Year's Eve weekend. And yeah, that's actually it for weeks 3 and 4. I went ahead and combined them because both were short weeks. I was sick for both weeks, so I didn't really take in or absorb much of the information that was taught in those 2 weeks, because during week 3 my brain was too foggy, and then week 4 it was like trying to find my balance and figure out, okay, what the heck did I miss? I gotta go back and catch this stuff, but then I need to learn like connecting to the database and everything that we're learning this week. So I was a little frazzled, but at the same time I still felt confident that I could catch up with what I needed to learn to get myself together for P0, because we still had about 2 weeks before it was due. So up until this point, I felt like, you know, we had learned a lot of information. I didn't just feel like that. We had learned a lot of information, but it still wasn't necessarily a point of overwhelm. I started to feel behind because of getting sick and feeling like I was 2 weeks behind everyone else. But it was something that I felt like, okay, Caitlin, you're just going to have to put in some extra fight and effort to get through this little setback. And I would say that I did. I actually came out the gate swinging for week 5. I was like, feet on the ground, we gonna get this stuff and we gonna get it right and we gonna get it done and we just gonna get it. So yes, that is my recap / review of weeks 3 and 4 of revature training. Again, my cohort is learning .NET development, so each week or as I talk about each week, I'm letting you guys know what we've covered during that time to put the full picture together of what I guess revature thinks that you should know for .NET development. Since I am so like far outside of the time that I'm talking about in these videos, like it's now March and I'm talking about the end of December, I'm actually going to do the last few weeks of revature training just in one video to go ahead and give it all to you at one time, so you don't have to wait for more updates. So weeks 4 until the end of training will all be in one video, and that will come if not next, it would be the video after the next one. So if you like this video, don't forget to smash that like button. I've always wanted to say that, and I don't know why YouTubers say smash the button. You can just press it. Smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, I have been seeing a lot of people in the comments letting me know that they are starting training or considering employment with revature. So if any of you are watching this video and have updates, please let me know. I would love to hear about them. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments. I try to answer in as much detail as I can, or what I do know based off of my experiences. And also, as I mentioned in my last video about why I got into tech, I don't want to be pinned as the revature girl by the YouTube algorithm. So I'm curious to know what other types of videos you guys would be interested in seeing. So if you have any recommendations or suggestions about my life, because this is a lifestyle channel, or about tech, because I do emphasize my journey to a career in tech, let me know down below in the comments what you would like to see. Other than that, I appreciate you guys so much for watching. You can find me on social media at ChildlikeKate, and I will see you soon.